trying to figure out which wing panel I'm gonna buy because Macri, Marks, Stutz, Dietz all are here. Like, I don't know which one to buy, but starting to regret not putting Lucas Wolf in my top 10. I don't know why. I'm just having like a feeling like I regretted that for tonight, but here we go. Alrighty, well, here I am. I'm walking to the sign, but I figured I'd start because there's a lot to talk. Well, there's some to talk about. So I'm here alone, and I was just kind of chilling, walking around, and found myself at the top of the grandstand and, you know, sitting in reserved seats, just, you know, waiting for somebody to come yell at me. So I was chilling. This group of people came up. They're like, I'm like, oh, you know, I'll move out of your seats. And they're like, these aren't our seats. And then it turned out that I was sitting with Walt Dyer, who owned a car a long time ago. Here's a picture of me looking like a dork with him. And I'll throw a picture of the car in, I guess, too. The Brickmobile, you might recognize. They drove that car in Pennsylvania a long time, so that was really cool. But this is kind of my picturesque thing. I got my FVR hat, my Logan Schuchart sweatshirt, and I'm going to talk about this. So 38 cars to start off PA Speedweek. That's pretty rad. Hot laps fine, you know, just work the track in, nothing, whatever. Lance Dewease had an oil leak, and that was important to know because tonight was a tribute night to one of the engineers, one of the mechanics on the car that he has that's been with the sport for a very long time in the area. So oil leak, and that was pointed out to me by a guy who used to own a sprint car, so that was pretty cool, that he could like talk about what happened. So that obviously turned around when we got to time trials. So they did time trials tonight, which was, you know, they sent one car out at a time, which isn't something they do weekly here, but obviously with that many cars and for it being PA Speed Week, they did. Lance Dewease was fastest, so, you know, he turns that car around and goes fastest. And then, yeah, it was just, you know, the rest of the field get through. There was a big bump in turn 1. Happens basically every week here at Williams Grove. I've heard that the people who run the place don't really upkeep the track, but the track crews, the people who actually prep the surface, you know, they know what they're doing. But there's a bump over there to watch out for. So you move into heat 1, and basically the big show for heat number 1 was Lance Dewease spun tires on the start, lost a bunch of spots, had to kind of trek his way back into even transferring into the main event. Danny Dietrich won that heat race pretty easily. That was a pretty stacked heat. There was Freddie Raymer, Lance Dewease, and Danny Dietrich were all in that one, and Dietrich got the best of them. Second heat race was also pretty exciting. Chad Trout, the Jiffy Lube 1X, was leading the way for a while, and the CJB number 5, Paul McMahon, passed him, took that heat win. That was, you know, that was pretty cool. It wasn't super intense of a race. Elsewise, as a heat race, it was just, you know, that pass, and that was a pretty good fight for the lead, though. So that was cool to see. 3 was pretty awesome. Personally, I'm kind of biased towards it, but Anthony Macri just ran away with that heat race, and people up in the stands were talking about Macri being one of the guys to win this race tonight. So he just put on a really great show for everybody and did really well in that heat race, just storming. I mean, gone. The 4th heat race was interesting and exciting. It was Rico Abreu had a pretty easy lead on it the whole time, but the big thing was just the first actual caution of the night. To that point, we saw Robbie Kendall spin, and in turns 3 and 4, right over here, actually, right over there, he spun, but, you know, nothing major, so that was done. And yeah, so those were the heat races. The B main was the pretty exciting part of the night, outside the feature. So I can't even name all the names, but a bunch of people in turn 1, lap 1, spun, big pile up, get that figured out. Landon Myers went to the garage, everybody else came back. Ricky DeEva flipped literally where I'm standing. Yeah, there wouldn't be any remnants of that after running all that racing, but he did that. One guy I was watching was Devin Borden, and he was in my power rankings coming into the night, but he was doing really well coming up through the field and didn't quite get there at the end because the motor shut off or something in turn 4, and at one point, and he was done. So that was tough. And then when he had his problem, Chase Dietz, something went wrong with him, and Dietz at that point was leading the B, so that was also tough to see. One of the guys I thought was going to do really well tonight, and he was doing really well tonight. He just something went wrong, and he didn't keep going, and unfortunately dropped out. But that took us to the end of the B main, which had a lot of incidents and whatever, and TJ Stutz won that. So after that, the feature, and the feature was pretty exciting. Green flag to checkered flag, no cautions. Lance Dewease got on pretty well at the start. Rico was leading the way, actually. So it was Rico, Dylan Cisney, and Lance Dewease up in the top 3 at the very beginning of the feature, and they ran like that for a while. Rico had a big lead up until they got to lap traffic. When they got to lap traffic, Robbie Kendall had a motor issue, I think, and came off the track. He was done. Only car that didn't finish the race, at least as far as I saw. Maybe somebody else didn't. But so Kendall comes off. Rico, Dylan Cisney, and Lance were kind of catching Rico on their own, but Lance was catching Dylan, no trouble. Rico was way out ahead. And then over here, there was the point where Rico came into the corner a little hot, got up too far, and right at that same time as Rico was going up too high, got the car a little squirrely. Cisney was getting passed by Dewease, so Dewease was coming down the inside of Cisney right as that happened. So Dewease went from 3rd to 1st in a corner, and then it was a write-off. I mean, he was just out and gone from there. Anthony Macri started putting the afterburners on, and he got all the way up to 2nd by the end of the race too. And I actually don't know who finished 3rd because the scoring pylon was messed up, and it said Anthony Macri finished in 2nd and 3rd, or 2nd and 4th. No, yeah, 2nd and 3rd, sorry. Overall, first night of PA Speedweek, Lance Dewease has the points championship in PA Speedweek. I'll go ahead and update my points for my power rankings and put them right here, so you can see what the power rankings are looking like now with one race in. I think I called Lance Dewease winning this race. I kind of forget. I said it at the beginning of the night when I got here to other people that I thought Lance Dewease was going to win, and he did. So that was cool. And I was sitting with obviously Walt Dyer. Lance Dewease drove that car for a long time, or maybe not a long time, I don't really know. I wasn't born yet, but he drove that car for a while. Drove that car to get a start in sprint cars, so obviously all the people that I was around, they were very excited at the end of the race. You probably saw that. Night number 1 is closed up. Night number 2, Lincoln Speedway. Who's going to win that race? If I'm going to throw my hand, I want to say Chase Dietz, but I feel like Freddie Raymer's going to do it. I don't know. Might go ahead and put Raymer, but if Dietz wins, I'm going to tell you I told you so. And that's it. So thanks for watching. It's been a good time, cool race. Obviously, anytime you get to a dirt track's fun. But thanks for watching. I won't be at Lincoln, so next one will be from my temporary stand in my basement. But I have a new wing panel to throw up behind me, so you'll have to watch and see which one it was. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. See ya for Lincoln.